Happy Sunday night, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Sunday Night Live Fishing Show with Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina. Hubbard's Marina fishing local waters since 1928. That's over 90 years and 4 generations. We've been hard at it. We're going to start this video up here very shortly, just getting it rolling on Facebook. We'll do another short intro. If you're not watching this live, go ahead and skip forward to where you see the video start. If you are watching this live, excuse me, I got to intro the video on Facebook. Share it around a little bit and we'll get started. I'll be with you guys very shortly. Gonna be a great night tonight. I hope you guys are ready for a good show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back with you for the Sunday Night Live show. About 2 minutes. Again, if you're watching this live, go ahead and skip forward to where you see the video start. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Sunday night, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Hubbard's Marina live show with Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina. Hubbard's Marina has been fishing local waters over 90 years and 4 generations. We've got tons of tips, tricks, and more coming at you live tonight. Hopefully you're ready for a great show. It's going to be a great time tonight. Definitely looking forward to having you guys. If you're watching this live, you can wait a few seconds, share this video with your friends, and we're going to get started here shortly. If you're not watching this live, go ahead and skip forward to where you see the video start. As always, guys, go ahead and comment where you're watching from. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us loud and clear. Help me share this stream. Share this stream with your favorite fishing club or on your timelines or with your friends. We're going to be with you very shortly. Excited for a good show tonight, guys. Hopefully you are as well. Always looking forward to these Sunday night shows. It's going to be a good time tonight for sure. Got lots of info coming at you. We're going to talk a lot about the red tide. We're going to talk a lot about fishing tips and tricks. And we're going to talk a lot about some upcoming events at Hubbard's Marina. And then, as always, we're going to answer your fishing questions and talk more about whatever you guys want to hear about. Always look forward to hearing from our viewers. Going to be a good show tonight and talk a lot about what's going on. I know I'm excited. The red tide has been getting very improved as of late, and it just seems to be getting better and better around our area. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to talk about all the fish we've been catching lately at Hubbard's Marina. We're definitely doing very well out there despite what's being spread around social media. The fishing's been really good, so looking forward to talking to you guys about that as well. Gonna be a great show. Just give me a few minutes if you're watching this live. Just bear with me a few seconds. We'll get started. If you're not watching this live, go ahead and skip forward to where you see the video start. Hopefully you guys have some good questions and stuff like that ready to go, because we got an hour here to talk fishing. As always, every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Again, make sure you comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Give me the thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. And if you're not watching this live, go ahead and just skip forward to where you see the video start. If you are watching this live, just give me a few minutes and we'll get started, folks. Thanks again for tuning in, as always. Always enjoy having you guys join us for the show. Just give me 2 more minutes and we will be ready to roll. When's the last time you guys gone fishing? Anybody got any good fishing photos or stories to share? Feel free to post your latest fishing photos in the comments below the video. Love to see what you guys are catching out there. I know some of you guys have been fishing with us here at Hubbard's Marina lately, so I'd love to see what you've been catching. We always like to start these things off by showing what's been caught lately, so we're going to be doing that here very shortly. Robert Donnelly, I'd never sleep. Sleep is, you sleep when you're dead, right? Hopefully, because I do need sleep. But like I said, it's overrated. So we're going to get rolling here very shortly. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, comment where you're watching from. Give us the thumbs up if you can hear us loud and clear. You're going to be able to see us very shortly. If you are not watching this live, if you're watching a rerun, if you will, go ahead and skip forward to where you see the video start. And I apologize, I have to repeat myself, guys, but people might be joining the video here a little late. So give us a thumbs up if you can hear us loud and clear, and comment where you're watching from. Just about 2 seconds away here, guys. We're just getting the photos lined up so we can show off what we've been catching lately and show you what's been going on around Hubbard's Marina. All right, I am ready to go. How about you guys? Happy Sunday night, guys. Welcome to the show. Captain Dylan Hubbard here from Hubbard's Marina. Hopefully you guys are ready for a good show tonight. I know I am. Always a good time joining you guys on Sunday night here. Talk a little bit about some fishing tips and tricks today. Definitely got some cool information here tonight. The video seems a little choppy on my side. Hopefully it's not choppy for you guys. Let me know how that looks. Hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties tonight. And hopefully Bright House won't let us down like sometimes it does. Always frustrating. A little choppy on my side. Hopefully it's not. And there I go. Already making mistakes. Well, wouldn't be a live show without some mistakes. So always enjoyable there. So tonight we were going to start off talking a little bit about the red tide. I know a lot of people have been asking what's going on with the red tide. How's it looking out there? Does the red tide affect our fishing trips? Luckily, we've been doing very well out there despite any of the red tide, and it's really gotten a lot better. I mean, honestly, we've seen a huge decrease in any sort of ill effects from the red tide, or now you could say the lack of red tide. We haven't seen a dead fish inside John's Pass. Well, we've seen a lot of dead fish inside John's Pass, but they've been coming out of our fish boxes. We haven't seen any dead fish floating killed by the red tide in probably more than 7 to probably 9 days. It's been a while, so we're really blessed to see the dead fish gone, devoid of our area. Thanks to that east wind, that high pressure has really been pushing a lot of that stuff out of the area, and hopefully it's kind of breaking it up off the coast. I know the last red tide report I saw from FWRI has the coastline, even offshore, looking much cleaner. So red tide is probably 100% better than it was 10 days ago, where we were in the thick of it, where we were coughing, gagging, having some trouble with dead fish. We don't see any dead fish. We don't have any breathing irritation. And on our way offshore, the water is really clearing up. Right now, a lot of you guys know we're doing the 6-hour half days. The idea behind that, we started doing 6-hour half days so we could get out past the red tide. Well, the crew the last 2 days have reported we don't need 6-hour half days anymore. All we need is that 5-hour half day. We can get out there plenty fast. We don't have to go as far as we have been going. So really good news on the fishing front. The red tide is really subsiding, and this tropical system we have coming our way should help us even more break down that red tide and get rid of the rest of it. So we're looking forward to hopefully totally clearing this whole thing out here in the next, I don't know, 2 weeks or so. So I would imagine by late October, by November for sure, that red tide will be in the history. So all good news on that front there. As far as what we've been catching, we've been doing really well on the nice big old gag grouper here, as you can see. So really good fish here from the Flying Hub 2 12-hour private charters. So really cool to see the big grouper coming in. Always great to catch a nice big old gag there. Now this big gag was caught on a big live bait, a nice big old porgy that they actually caught while they were out there fishing. So been seeing some nice fish for sure. Here's a red grouper from the Hub. This was caught on our Hub 10-hour all day. So we're seeing some nice fish coming in on that special 10-hour Hub half day, or 10-hour Hub all day. One programming note on the topic of that Hub 10-hour all day. We are actually doing those special 10-hour all days on the Hub and through October 16th. So October 16th is the last day for that special Hub 10-hour all day. So we're looking forward to continuing these for another 9 days there. We also have those 6-hour half days. Those will continue until October 17th. So like I said earlier, we don't need the 6-hour half day. We're able to get our fishing in and catch plenty of fish in a 5-hour half day. But we are going to continue the 6-hour half day to hopefully entice some of you guys to come out and join us and catch some of these good eating fish and enjoy some beautiful time on the water. You get an extra hour on the boat for free. And it basically just gives you more fishing time now that we don't have to go as far to get past that red tide. It was the whole idea behind the 6-hour was an hour and a half ride out, hour and a half ride back, still 3 hours of fishing time. Just like our 5-hour half day, but now we don't have to go as far, so it's a little shorter ride out. You get more fishing time on that 6-hour half day. And again, that will continue through October 17th. So these hub 10-hour all days through October 16th, 6-hour half days through October 17th. This is Keith Blessett in the back here, and his son Andrew showing off a nice big old fat red grouper that Andrew caught during his 12-hour extreme trip. Always good to see the young guys out there catching fish and the young gals catching plenty of fish. So this is our catch from one of our recent hub 10-hour all days. The mahi-mahi are definitely around. We're seeing a lot of mahi-mahi anywhere from about 70 to about 120 foot of water. We're running into some mahi-mahi. The scamp grouper bite has been incredible. Been seeing a lot of big scamp anywhere we're really fishing. Here's a half-day photo, some of the half-day photos that we've been seeing. Let's see here. What other photos do we have? I know we have... Oh, that's an old one. I think we had another file here, but I've been moving around some stuff, so it's been bouncing around. Obviously, we have the nice big amberjack. We've been seeing some nice amberjack on our Flying Hub 2 extreme trips. Really cool to see these big jacks. Those jacks are going to stay open through the end of October. So October 31st is the last day you can keep these amberjack. Also, one thing I did want to mention while we're on this subject of what's open and what's in season, the Gulf Council, our federal fishery management body in the Gulf of Mexico, just made a big move. Something that all of you guys would be interested in for sure is the Gulf Council is now using the Fish Rules app. So the Fish Rules app is something that the Gulf Council has moved to. They used to use their own proprietary app, and it sucked. They'd be happy to agree that it sucked. So unfortunately, fortunately, they moved to Fish Rules, and Fish Rules is just so much easier to use. A lot more people are already using it. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it, and for those of you who are not, Fish Rules is just simply an app. It's a really user-friendly app. So now all the federal fishery rules for the Gulf of Mexico and the South Atlantic Council has already been using it. So it doesn't matter if you're fishing in Florida in state waters, if you're fishing in South Atlantic waters on the East Coast, or you're fishing in Gulf of Mexico waters on the west coast of Florida. It doesn't matter where you're at. The federal fishery regulations are all listed right there on the Fish Rules app. So if you haven't downloaded it, go ahead and download it now. It's definitely a great way to stay up with what's in season, what you're able to catch. We have not updated our website yet. We have a fishing regulations page of our website where I keep a lot of that information, and I'll be uploading the Fish Rules app link so you can download it from our website here in the next couple days. So that's big news. So it makes it really easy for you guys to kind of stay in touch with what's been going on and what we've been catching. I did want to finish showing you here real quick. Captain Dave has been doing a really good job on the hub. We've been seeing some African pompano. We've been seeing some nice big old fat red grouper. And we've been seeing some barely legal or undersized. This one was a little undersized and released, but this was a nice keeper on that hub 10-hour all day. So it's great to see those red grouper. All these fish from the hub 10-hour all day, we're fishing anywhere from about 75 to about 190 foot of water for the most part on these 10-hour, sushi burp, 10-hour all day. So we've been doing pretty well out there in that range. On the half day, we're fishing anywhere from about 40. Now we're fishing even as shallow as 35 foot of water. And we're doing very well on catching lots of big gray snapper, the occasional hogfish. We are seeing hogfish, but it's one here, one there, maybe a handful on a trip. So the hogfish bite isn't really crazy yet, but it's not too far away from that hogfish time. What I'm hoping for is this tropical system is going to move through. And once that tropical system moves through and breaks up the rest of this red tide, we'll have a nice big old cold front to follow that tropical system. Real quick, I did want to show you, again, hubbardsmarina.com. On our website, you can go to info, weather links, or you can go to fishing trips. And under fishing trips, weather links, I did want to show you something pretty cool here. I don't know if you've seen this yet. On our weather links page, you can pull up the NOAA forecast or the wind finder forecast. This is something I haven't seen before, and it was shown to me today. Most of the time, the National Hurricane Center, which develops this forecast, doesn't do things like this. So this is pretty trippy right here. So again, NOAA forecast, the 39-hour area, so that's 60 to 200 miles basically. If you scroll down and look at the weather forecast here, that is 15 to 23 foot seas on Tuesday. Tuesday night, 16 to 24 foot seas. Wednesday, hurricane conditions possible. Wednesday night, tropical storm conditions possible. And then Thursday, 5 to 7 feet. So most of the time, even Hurricane Katrina, like Hurricane Katrina, Cat 5 hurricane going through the Gulf of Mexico, the biggest sea I ever saw on those buoys was about 18 foot seas. So for Tuesday, for them to call 23 foot seas and Tuesday night 24 foot seas, it's pretty troublesome, to say the least. So very interesting there. I did want to also show you, again, on the bottom of the weather links page, this ultimate weather and storm forecast. This is Mike's weather page. I absolutely love Mike's weather page. And sure enough, the last National Hurricane Center update had this tropical disturbance upgraded to a tropical storm. Michael is here. He's coming into the Gulf of Mexico, and he's expected to come in here and then hook to the northwest, somewhere along Alabama, North Florida coast. Definitely going to be an interesting storm to watch. Oh, wow, Panama City. Track curved again. So tropical storm, then it's going to become a hurricane. So definitely a little bit worrisome and something we're going to be keeping an eye on. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about going fishing, obviously tomorrow's kind of the last shot to go fishing here. So tomorrow, Monday, is going to be a great day of fishing, but it's going to get a little bumpy. That east wind is going to be screaming tomorrow. We do have a half-day fishing trip tomorrow. I was going to open up an afternoon half-day fishing trip, but unfortunately the afternoon is going to get a little bit more bumpy. Again, right on our weather links page, you can always look at the forecast. So the half-day weather forecast for tomorrow, they're calling east winds of 20 knots. So it's really going to start howling tomorrow. 2 to 4 foot seas. It's going to be more like 2 foot in the morning, then it's going to start picking up quickly. So if you're going fishing offshore, definitely want to be in a bigger boat tomorrow and you want to get it done early. If you're fishing from shore, tomorrow's going to be a good day to do it as these low pressures come into the Gulf of Mexico. Low pressure is a cold front, hurricane, whatever. As those low pressure systems approach, what happens is that lateral line on the side of the fish is basically a barometer. And those fish get really excited because they know what's going to happen. They can sense the weather change coming. So those fish know that low pressure means bad weather. So they get really excited and they start actively feeding ahead of these low pressure systems. Some of the best fishing that ever gets done in the Gulf of Mexico is right ahead of these low pressures, cold fronts, hurricanes. That's why you hear about these commercial fishermen losing their lives sometimes, because these guys are trying to get out there and catch those big, huge fish and take advantage of that super aggressive bite right ahead of that low pressure system approaching. So again, as that low pressure system approaches, the barometer's taking a dump, those fish are chewing like crazy, and then that low pressure comes in, the barometer gets super low and gets stagnant. At that time, the weather's blowing, the fishing is really terrible, because the water gets stirred up and that barometer's super low. And then behind that weather system, like for example, this hurricane, I think, what did it say, was I think it's projected to make landfall sometime around early Wednesday morning. So that means all day Wednesday it should really start clearing up nicely. By Thursday, it'll be nice again. We'll be able to go half-day fishing. Most likely, I would guess, Thursday will be half-day fishing, but it'll be a little bumpy. Friday will be much nicer. But basically, behind this storm system, the weather gets nicer quicker. The seas lay down, the wind lays down, but the water's still stirred up. So it takes a few days. Once the wind and waves calm down, it takes 1 or 2 days for that water to clear up. Once that water clears up, it's like someone hit on a light switch. Like, for example, tomorrow's Monday. They're going to feed all day Monday until Tuesday. That pressure is going to get low. That wind and waves going to pick up. They're going to stop feeding. And then Thursday, as that weather lays down and the water starts clearing up, they're going to start feeding a little bit. And by Friday, once the water clears up, everything's laid down, everything's back to beautiful, bam, bite's going to be on. Friday afternoon, Saturday is probably going to be some stellar knockout fishing. So if I was you, I'd get booked on a fishing trip with us at Hubbard's Marina, or call your buddy up and plan a trip, because definitely this coming weekend behind this storm is going to be awesome fishing. And a little bit of a fishing tip and trick, a secret from us here at Hubbard's Marina for watching our live show is behind these storms, these fish can, again, they sense this low pressure coming. They know it's a big storm. These fish will hide on that larger structure. So your huge 10-foot ledge, your artificial reefs, your big wrecks, your pipeline, all your big, huge relief, that's what stacks up with fish. The middle grounds, the elbow, these fish will run to that bigger structure and hide from the storm, hide from the bad conditions. So this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be a race. You're going to see those triple engine, quad engine boats just rocketing out there, trying to get deep, trying to get to that big structure, and take advantage of all those fish being grouped up. So again, any low pressure, whether it's a hurricane, a cold front, whatever, the fishing is really good up until that storm comes through and the barometer takes a dump. And the fishing is really good again behind the storm. Once the weather gets back to normal, the water starts clearing up, everything gets right again, the fish just turn on. So really looking forward to some great fishing this off season, or this cold front season. And this fall fishery is just one of my favorites, but you have to time your trip around the weather. Weather timing becomes so important this time of year. And what's cool about our website, again, is all that information is right there on the weather page. We've even got this how weather affects fishing video, which is what I just explained a little bit more succinctly laid out for you. So that how weather affects fishing video is right on our weather links page. Again, you can go to fishing trips, weather links, and that's going to have all that information there for you. So definitely check out the website. It's got a lot of information, including that fishing tips page. So hopefully you guys enjoy the website. And I know we haven't changed too much on the website lately. I was promising a lot of changes, and they're definitely coming. I've got a secret weapon joining the team here soon at Hubbard's Marina, and he's going to help me improve the website even more. So looking forward to that. Some tips and tricks besides weather stuff, guys. As this red tide decreases, we've been noticing more and more, and we've been having to been forced to play more and more with some of that unique bait. The bonita strips have been on fire lately. Captain Dave, again, one of our new captains here at Hubbard's Marina, has just been slaying the fish. He's running those Hub 10-hour all days, and he's been a great addition to the team. We also have Devin, a new first mate, a lady first mate, so it's pretty cool to have a lady on deck once again. We did have a woman working the deck on the boat back when I was a teenager, like 12, 13 years old. She actually trained me on the Hub, so that was pretty cool. So it's great to see another lady working the deck and helping us out on deck. So Captain Dave and first mate Devin have been running these 10-hour Hub trips. I know some of you guys have been taking those Hub 10-hour trips and have met those guys, and Devin, that gal, and I've been catching a lot of fish with them. I know they've been doing really well today. They sent me some photos, but I didn't get them uploaded, so I can't share them here on the computer, but they definitely did very well on some fat mangrove snapper. The mangrove snapper bite has just gotten so good. In the fall here, we catch some monster mangrove snapper, about 80 to 90 foot of water. Right now, we're seeing some really big mangrove snapper. I was actually supposed to film a mangrove snapper fishery mastery course with the guys here at Salt Strong, and we were supposed to start filming on Tuesday. Obviously, the weather kind of screwed us there, so we're not going to be filming the Mangrove Snapper Mastery course right now, but it's definitely going to be coming soon. Those guys at Salt Strong are looking forward to bringing you some good video information. And on the note of Salt Strong, how many of you guys know how to tie the PR bobbin knot? I know I am just learning. This knot is one of the craziest knots ever, for sure. This is called the unbreakable fishing knot. Embarrassingly, that's my hand holding that knot, but this knot is super, super small. So if you haven't checked this video out, again, just Google PR bobbin knot, Salt Strong, and you can watch the video of the guys at Dogfish tying this knot. If you are local, stop by Dogfish and check that knot out. The guys will show you how to do it right there behind the counter. It's one of my favorite go-to knots for pelagic trolling, big shark fishing. When I'm tying that big shark reel up, that 9-aught with 150-pound braided line and a 125-pound top shot, that's the knot I use. And then also for big game pelagic trolling, for deep drop fishing in our Tanacom 1000s, that's the knot we use. So it's a really cool knot, and it's one of the best. And I'm not biased. This is the best video that's been made for that PR bobbin knot, if you'd like to learn how to do it. So it's really, really cool. Rocky Santana Cruz said all bright all day, can tie it in the dark with the wind blowing. I agree. All of us use the Albright knot at Hubbard's Marina. That's our go-to line-to-line knot on the boat. It's the quickest, easiest, simplest line-to-line knot. It's very strong. The FG knot is a little stronger than the Albright knot, but is way harder to tie. So in my opinion, I always use the Albright knot when I'm on the water in a pinch. But when I'm at home preparing for a big game pelagic, or when I'm at home preparing for that shark trip or spooling up my deep drop Tanacoms, I will use that PR bobbin knot. But I am personally not good enough to tie it on the boat yet. I hope to get some more practice in, and I hope to master that knot to where I can tie it in the dark with the wind blowing. But I'm far from there. That video is 16 minutes long. That's how long it took us to walk through that step by step. So definitely an interesting video and something I just wanted to show you. Salt Strong has so many cool things on their website, and I'm really, really happy to be working with them. They do a really great job. Philip Brittis said, would you use the double snell rig in the dry Tortugas? Yes, I personally use the double snell rig anywhere and everywhere that I fish. I use it on the bridge at John's Pass for mangrove snapper. I use it on the Skyway for snapper. I use it on the half day for catching the grunts or the gray snapper. Sorry guys, it was the gray snapper on the half day. And then also I use it near shore for the mangrove snapper, offshore for the yellowtail and mangrove snapper. I use the double snell rig any and everywhere I go basically. And if I was a freshwater fishing guy, I'd probably use a double snell rig for bass fishing as well. So it's just, to me, the double snell rig just increases your odds of catching fish, especially when you're using that chunk of thread fin. You cut the head, cut the tail, and trim the belly, and you hook that bait in reverse. The idea behind hooking that bait in reverse is you have the skinny tail end of the bait pointing towards the swivel. So that way, as that lead drags that bait to bottom, the skinny end of that bait is pointing towards the lead. And it makes it more hydrodynamic. It goes to the bottom a lot quicker, a lot easier. You don't get the tangles, and it seems to really help get your bait to bottom, present that bait naturally, and help you catch more fish. So yes, I would use the double snell rig. And the dry Tortugas, where it's super shallow, I would probably get like a 10-foot or maybe 8-foot piece of fluorocarbon, and I would tie probably like 20-pound fluorocarbon or 30-pound fluorocarbon, and probably use like maybe 2-aught or 3-aught hooks. I would double snell the hooks on that 8 to 10-foot piece of fluoro, and then I would use a line-to-line knot, probably the FG or the Albright knot, to attach that fluorocarbon leader to that main line, and I'd use that for floating out bait to those yellowtail snapper on the reef, or maybe use a split shot if I had to. But remember to do the double snell rig. The catch with the double snell rig is you need a free end piece of line. So a lot of times on my knocker rig setup, I'll tie a double snell rig because I'll have that monofilament or fluorocarbon. I have a free end of the line to tie that knot. But then once you tie that line-to-line knot to your braid, if you want to do another double snell rig, if you break off or your line gets frayed, in order to do a double snell rig, you'd have to cut your line-to-line knot, retie the double snell, and then retie the line-to-line knot. So a lot of times on the boat, I'll start with the double snell rig, but once I break off or the line gets frayed, I'll cut it off and just go back to a single hook. So yeah, Philip, I would definitely use it. I definitely recommend it, but I'd probably get away from it if my line got frayed or broken, just because speed is everything, and I'm all about optimizing the amount of fish, or the chance to catch as many fish as you can off the bat. But once you get out there and start fishing, if you're catching so many fish, they're fraying up your line, that means you're doing well. So you could probably get away with going down to a double or a single hook rig. And then if you stop catching fish, then I would cut that line-to-line knot, tie another double snell, and start all over again. So definitely really interesting lesson there. Francine Breton said, do you give lessons on how to hook your bait? Yes, on the way out on all of our trips, we do a lesson on how to hook your bait. And then on our website, again, hubbardsmarina.com, you can go to fishing trips and go down to fishing tips. There's videos here at the fishing tips page on some of the Bass Pro Shop seminars that I do. In a lot of these Bass Pro Shop seminars, I do demonstrations on how to hook your bait. And our fishing tips page is missing a lot of videos. So you can always go to our Hubbard's Marina YouTube page. And on our Hubbard's Marina YouTube page is a video of how to hook your bait in that Bass Pro Shop seminar on our YouTube channel as well. And that's a good idea, Francine. I'm going to go ahead and write that one down. I'm going to email it to myself here, and I will add that to the list of videos, how to hook a bait using a double snell rig. We'll film that video for you, Francine, and I'll have that up here shortly for you. So we'll do a quick how to tie a double snell rig, followed by how to hook your bait using that double snell rig. So thanks for the question, Francine. Mike Hart said, this is a good question, Mike Hart. He said, looking for a good reel and rod offshore. something universal for grouper and snapper. Any recommendations where I can get one? Well, I would recommend you come to Hubbard's Marina and get one from me at the shop. I'd be more than happy to get you set up. Or you could give me a call, Mike Hart, and I could help you based on your budget, point you in the direction of the best setup. I would say the best universal setup is going to be a 2-speed conventional reel. That 2-speed conventional reel, if you get a nicer one, that's going to allow you to catch anything from a big grouper all the way down to the smallest, quickest biting snapper. So I really love my Daiwa Saltiga reel. The Shimano Talicas are okay too. The Accurate Valiant N Series 500 Valiant N is a really nice reel too. I'm partial to my Daiwa Saltiga, but I'll try a little bit of everything. The Saltis would even work as well. The Pen Fathom is a great reel if you don't have the budget to go to some of those higher end reels. But the Pen Fathom 2-speed isn't going to have the drag capacity of that Accurate Valiant 500N or the Daiwa Saltiga or the Shimano Talica 16. But those 3 reels are the kind of the more high-end 2-speed reels that would literally catch a gag grouper, an amberjack, a red grouper, all the way down to a very small mangrove snapper or yellowtail species. So definitely, hands down, Mike Hart, you want to go for a 2-speed reel, and then you want to get a rod that's going to be light with a sensitive tip that you're going to be able to feel the bite with, but a rod that has a good backbone. We have some brand new custom Hubbard's Marina Bull Bay rods in our shop, and that's another video I need to do. I want to show off the Bull Bay rod, Hubbard's Marina setup. Marina rod. I want to show off those new rods to you guys. They're just so light, so strong. The tips are so sensitive. I was talking to someone the other day, and he was holding that rod, and his quote that I use now is, he was holding a grouper rod. And this is a grouper rod meant for a big old beefy reel. He was holding that, and he said that he thinks he could feel his pinfish fart on the bottom at 120 foot using that rod, just because it's so light. The tip is so sensitive, and it's so strong. You'd be able to fight a really big fish. You'd be able to really do some damage, but yet you could definitely still catch a lot of big fish. So Angelo Nieves just hit the nail on the head when looking for a rod and reel combo. For sure, it depends on your budget. Do you want to go with the Daiwa Saltiga? Do you want to go with the Daiwa Saltist? Or do you need to go single speed like the Daiwa Hyperspeed or something, or Sea-Line? The Daiwa Sea-Line reel, that series is a great rod and reel. You can put a great combo together with that reel, but it doesn't have that 2-speed option. So it really depends on your budget and what you can get away with. But again, Mike Hart, feel free to call the office at 727-393-1947. My extension is 306. I'll be in the office tomorrow from 6 a.m. to about 3 to 4 p.m. You can reach me and I'll walk you through the best rod and reel for your budget. But thanks for the question, man. It was a great question, and that's one of the big battles and debates that I get a lot, is what's the best rod and reel that I can use for a little bit of everything. Because you have a more advanced angler. The advanced angler is going to have a rod for his mangrove snapper. He's going to have a rod for his yellowtail snapper. He's going to have a rod for his hogfish. He's going to have a rod for his gag grouper, his red grouper, his amberjack. And then he's going to have a flatlining rod. Then he's going to have a trolling rod. And you'll have 10 to 12 rods to go offshore fishing. And then you'll have the angler who's just starting out that might have a snapper and grouper rod. Or you have the angler who's a traveling angler from Georgia or North Carolina that only has one rod and he wants to do a little bit of everything with it. So the full spectrum of angler, that's the problem. That when you say what's a good rod for this, you have to know where you're at in that development. Are you going to be the guy who wants to get one really nice rod to do a little bit of everything well? Do you want to get one rod that can later be turned into 3 rods? That's the question. Personally, in my opinion, a good all-around, if you want to go cheaper route, the Penn Fathom 2-speed with one of those ugly sticks is a great option. Or some of the custom rods we have at Hubbard's Marina. We have not the Bull Bay Hubbard's Marina rods. Those are a little bit more pricey, but some of our old killer sticks, they're only 120 bucks and they work very well. Got a super sensitive tip, a good backbone, and you could pair that with one of those sea lines or one of the Penn reels and get away with a $350, $450 combo that's going to hold up and catch you some nice fish for sure. So Rocky Santana Cruz said, Macs are thick out there. What's your favorite option if you don't want to use planers? If you don't want to use planers, I would probably go with either a Rapala X-Wrap Magnum 20, 30, or 40, or you can go with one of those trolling skirts with a trolling weight on it, or you could use a heavy trolling weight with a spoon. That would be my option for trolling for mackerel. But if the mackerel are super thick and you've got them up on the surface feeding on bait, I like tying some gotcha plugs on one of my Bull Bay Sniper series or my Hubbard's Marina Bull Bay rods and casting those gotcha plugs at the school. It's so much fun to use really light tackle, especially a light spinning reel and like a 2500 or 3000 series reel with the drag back down and cast a 3/8 or excuse me 3/4 ounce gotcha plug in the middle of that mackerel school and have a 2, 3, 4, even 5 pound mackerel. Grab that gotcha plug and your reel's screaming. That's what I grew up doing. I would take my little skiff out 2 to 3 miles from shore. My dad only said I could go 4 miles from shore, but I always was 5 or 6 miles from shore after school in the skiff hunting those mackerel schools, especially this time of year. Those mackerel get close to shore on those artificial reefs. You have the Madeira Beach Reef, only 3 miles from shore, and there's plenty of bait around it. You can get anchored up on one of those artificial reefs, use some of that aquatic nutrition sport fishing chum, like the chum drop, get that bait coming up to the surface. I like cast netting some greenbacks inshore on the bridge or something, and that definitely once you cast net those greenbacks inshore, you can get a bunch of greenbacks in a bucket. You don't even need to keep them alive. And using those, cutting those up, throwing them over, or taking a baseball bat and whipping those out, and get that dead bait floating in the surface, get those mackerel up to the surface chewing, and you can use the light tackle and free line out white bait or throw the gotcha plugs. And then once you get the mackerel chummed up, a lot of times you're going to get the sharks chummed up. Then all of a sudden you've got bull sharks around the boat, black tips, maybe even a hammerhead. So it's always a lot of fun to go target the mackerel, and it's definitely going to be a great time as these as this red tide clears up more and more. Hopefully we'll have the kingfish fall in, because we definitely have a lot of mackerel out there. Once you get past the red tide, the mackerel are definitely thick, but hopefully those kingfish will be thick. Hopefully they didn't miss us and run around us. All right, let's see here. Hannah Rogers said, why aren't you saying anything about the line test needed for these rods, reels, and hooks? Well, my bad, Hannah. We're kind of talking more about an all-around rod and reel setup. When you have that, when you're not using that advanced angler approach where you have multiple rods for each individual species, you have to kind of have one all-around lines class, like a 50 or 60 pound class rod, and then you change the monofilament leader or fluorocarbon leader based on what you're targeting. General rule of thumb is 30 to 50 pound for the snapper species, 60 to 80 pound for the grouper species, 80 to 100 pound for the big gags, and the starting to be for the amberjacks, and then 100 to 125 pound for the monster fish. So it really just depends on the application. If you're getting more specific, then you can start talking hook sizes, line strengths, all that kind of stuff. let's see what questions we have here on YouTube. Remember, guys, make sure you comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Give us the thumbs up if you can hear us loud and clear. And make sure you share this video with friends. If you're jumped in the video late, you can always, after the video stops, you can rewind and watch the front. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Again, these are every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Chris Gardner said, how do you think Tuesday looks for the 10-hour with storm moving up? Unfortunately, Chris, we're probably going to have to move those 10 hours. Tuesday's 10 hours, I pretty much could guarantee that's going to get canceled. Thursday's 10 hours, kind of up in the air. We might be able to run it, but if we do run it, it's probably going to be a little bumpy. The fishing's probably not going to be too great right behind the storm, but I wouldn't imagine we'll be able to run the smaller hub on that Thursday coming up. But the party boat will definitely be able to run Thursday in the half-day waters closer to shore. But again, it's probably going to be a little bumpy. Fishing might be a little slow. Friday, the weather should lay down nicely. The fishing will start getting better. Saturday and Sunday should be on fire. But Chris, and I saw someone else ask about the 10-hour Thursday. These 10 hours Tuesday and Thursday, I was thinking about it today, and I didn't contact anybody or cancel the trips because I'm trying to come up with a plan a day following the storm, sometime after the weekend, hopefully like Monday or Wednesday of next week, where the weather is back to normal. I can pick a day and add a new 10-hour trip, and I will give the people that were canceling on Tuesday and Thursday first shot at booking that trip. And then if you guys don't fill it up, I'll open it to the public because we're running out of time. Again, October 16th is the last day of those special hub 10-hour trips. So we want to try to get as many people out there as we can and try to accommodate as many of you as you can. So with that Tuesday and Thursday trip being in trouble this week due to that storm, Tropical Storm Michael, we will do our best to get you guys out there by adding new trips. So to answer your question, it's not looking very good there, but Chris will figure out a way to get you out there, so bear with me, man. Let's see what other questions we have. Again, make sure you comment where you're watching from, guys, and share this video with friends, and help me out. Click like on the video, either Facebook, YouTube, doesn't matter where you're watching. Please like the video. That helps me a lot. So Luis Martinez said he's coming down to Madeira on Friday. Nice, man. We are catching a lot of fish here. The snook are back in Johns Pass. Bruce Johnson, our local sheriff's deputy, let me know this morning. Last night he was walking the Johns Pass Village Boardwalk, and he spotted the snook in the dock lights. So the snook are back in the dock lights. I had a guest in the office 2 days ago that was staying on a beachfront condo hotel, and he was throwing a silver casting spoon, so just basically a silver spoon in the surf, catching redfish. And they were nice redfish. They were probably slot redfish or maybe a little over slot redfish. So it was really cool to see those redfish feeding on the shore in the surf actively. So we've got snook back in Johns Pass. We've got redfish biting on the beach. Offshore, we're catching tons of fish too. So the fishing is great. The red tide is really nearly eliminated in our area. So really good news there. So we'll see you soon, Luis Martinez. Thanks for coming to visit our area. Mark Bratchell said, what bait do you recommend for 10-hour trips? Me personally, I like targeting mangrove snapper. It's one of my favorite fish to catch. I would bring that Daiwa Saltiga out with that new Hubbard's Marina Bull Bay snapper killer rod that I have, and I'd be using that with about 40 to 50 pound braided line, and then about a 30 to 40 foot fluorocarbon leader of about 40-pound test. I'd be using about a 3-ounce egg sinker with a small swivel, probably one of those Spro swivels that are super small and super strong. And then I'd be using probably 30 to 40 pound fluorocarbon leader and double snelled 4 to 5/0 hooks, and then I'd be using a thread fin plug. Cut the head, cut the tail, trim the belly, and I'd be using that right on the bottom, holding bottom as naturally as I can, and trying to slap those mangrove snapper, lane snapper, and maybe the occasional vermilion snapper. And then if I got into a place where we're anchored up, we're fishing a spot for a while, the bite kind of slows down. Before the boat moves, I'd run and grab a shrimp or two and throw a shrimp on the hook and cast it out there. See if I couldn't get a hogfish to chew, or get that shrimp down there and see if one of those stubborn mangrove snapper that wasn't biting that thread fin plug would bite the shrimp. We have been catching a lot of mangrove snapper lately on the pieces of shrimp or the live shrimp, so definitely always a good idea to bring some of those shrimp. We're coming into that time of year where the sheep's head bite gets really good in the pass and along the beaches, and the hogfish bite only gets better and better near shore. So this is the time of year where we do very well with the fiddler crabs. So definitely a good idea to bring out the fiddler crabs, and definitely a great idea to have those fiddler crabs in your arsenal for those hogfish. The fiddler crabs are kind of like the hogfish candy out there. When they start getting really good, the hogfish start chewing really well, those fiddler crabs are going to be awesome. So looking forward to a great fall season with hogfish increasing, gag grouper bite coming closer to shore and getting better and better. Sheep's head are going to start picking up more and more. It's always a good time of year. The snook will move into the rivers and start hiding in the backwaters where it's a little warmer. A lot of great fishing ahead of us for sure. And amberjack are open until the end of October. We have gag grouper open to the end of the year. We've got the Flying Hub 1 in operation. The Flying Hub 2 is going to run a private charter for our local sheriff's deputy organization towards the end of October here, and then it's going to go down for 2 weeks. We're going to take the Flying Hub 2 out of service. We're going to remove the Yamaha 350 horsepower engines. We're going to replace the Yamaha engines with 350 horsepower Mercury engines, thanks to Pro Marine. Honda Marine is still our go-to small horsepower engine on the Sea Adventure and Tampa Bay Ferry fleet for our dolphin watching pleasure cruises. They're super quiet, super efficient. But for these offshore deep water extreme trips, we're going to use those Mercury racing engines, the 350 horsepower. So we're looking forward to repowering Hubbard's Marina with Mercury Marine. Sea Adventure Tampa Bay Ferry is going to stay with Honda Marine and help us sneak up on those dolphins. So definitely looking forward to seeing the Flying Hub 2 get repowered here at the end of October, early November. Around mid-November, she'll be back in service. Sometime around November 10th or 11th, we're going to be putting that Flying Hub 2 back in service. So definitely want to book a trip on the Flying Hub 2 mid-November for those gag grouper. The second half of November is an awesome time for gag grouper, and the Flying Hub 2 with the new motors are going to go out there and hammer those gags. Hopefully you'll be with us. Around Thanksgiving is my favorite time for gag grouper fishing, so we got tons of gag trips coming up. Also at the end of October, October 19th, the Florida Fisherman 2 goes back into service. Dry dock is nearly complete on the Florida Fisherman 2, so we're looking forward to going back on our 39 and 44 and 63-hour trips. We've got a 63-hour trip November 1st with plenty of room. We've got 39 and 44-hour trips that were sold out at the end of October. Now they're not sold out. We've had a lot of people back out on us, so got 6, 7, 8 spots on a lot of trips at the end of October. Through the month of November, we got tons of room on the weekend on the 39-hour trips. It's a great time of year. It's fall is awesome, and we catch a ton of fish. Don't forget October 20th at Tampa Bay or at Tampa Bass Pro Shops. We're going to be doing that free fishing seminar. It's an hour long, and you could win a free 10-hour all day for 2 guests or a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. That's Saturday, October 20th at 2 p.m. And then last programming note is this Saturday, October 13th at the Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet. Hubbard's Marina table will be set up. We'll be giving away some free trips there at the table. We've got the drawing where we have $3,000 in Hubbard's Marina trips there to be raffled off for charity. So stop by the Hubbard's Marina booth, say hello to me, fill out a raffle ticket, get your name and information on it to be entered to win a 39-hour trip at the booth at the Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet this weekend, or join that raffle and you could win one of the $3,000 in trips we're giving away at the Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet. Again, that raffle is benefiting charity, so always a good idea to take advantage of that, maybe win some trips and benefit charity while doing it. So definitely look forward to seeing you at Bass Pro Shops October 20th at 2 p.m. Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet this week. This weekend is what I meant to say. Saturday at the... I honestly don't know. A lot of people have been asking me where it's at. Let's look it up together, guys. Hopefully no one from Tampa Bay Fishing Club is watching this, and I'm going to get called out for it. Because one of you guys are going to rat me out, I have a feeling. That's nice to say about you guys, isn't it? All right, Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet number 5, brought to you by Suncoast Marine and BRP. This is it. England Brothers Park, or England Brothers Band Show. Well, it's England Brothers Park. It's right there in Pinellas Park area, so it's not far away from Hubbard's Marina, and all the information is right here in the event. We're gonna, matter of fact, we'll copy and paste this event right into the comments for you guys. So go ahead and, all right, YouTube is being finicky. There we go. Both YouTube and Facebook, the comment thread has the link to the meet and greet. So hopefully we'll see you out there. Remember, guys, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I'm not finishing up yet. I'm going to go back through and answer some of the questions that you guys might have for me. Rocky Santana Cruz on Facebook said, do the blackfin tuna show up in the fall like they do in the spring, and is there a better way to target other than flatline while bottom fishing? In my opinion, there's 2 good ways to target blackfin tuna. You can catch them while trolling using the Rapala X-Rap Magnums. A cedar plug also works well for tuna, or you can target them while flatline fishing. Flatline fishing is a great way to target tuna, but how I've seen the most tuna ever caught by one guy is using a weighted hook. Yes, a weighted hook. So basically, it was a hook with a very thin weight on the shank of the hook, and he was able to put a pinfish hooked right up underneath the mouth and just kind of free spool it out into the current, and that bait slowly sank into the chum line and started progressively going deeper and deeper, and the tuna just one after another, he was bailing them. You can do the same thing with a jig head. A jig head, again, hooking the pinfish right up underneath the jaw and feeding them out into that chum line, into the current. Especially on that 39-hour trip where you've been fishing a spot for an hour, 2 hours, when those mangrove snapper are fired up at night. If you feed one of those pinfish out away from the boat on a jig head like that, you're going to get smacked by a big tuna for sure. So flatlining with that jig head approach or weighted hook or trolling is going to be the best bet for the tuna for sure. And yes, tuna are around our area all year long. We catch them in the summertime, we catch them in the spring, we catch them in the fall. My favorite time for tuna, the best we ever see, is typically around February, March, especially on the new moon. January as well, but they get really thick into the fall, especially once the cold fronts start, the water cools down a little bit. The new and full moon fishing at night seems to be the best time for those tuna, and we see a lot of them on the 39 and 44-hour trips come the cooler months of the year, but we do catch plenty of them all the way through the summer as well. Vincent Moreno said, how's the red tide? What red tide? It's gotten so much better around our area, and we're definitely catching a lot of fish. So Vincent Moreno, we talked a lot about the red tide at the beginning of the video. I'm not going to go all the way back into it again, but we definitely been doing very, very well on the we were talking about red tide. We've not been doing well on red tide. It's a lot better is what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once and got a little sidetracked there. Jeff Wiggins said, hey Dylan, did you get my message about the Saltiga 50 reels? Yes, I did, Jeff, and I thought I answered it, so I apologize that you didn't get my response, or maybe I didn't send it, but I thought I did. Basically, Jeff Wiggins, yes, we do have those Saltiga 50 reels in our shop at Hubbard's Marina. We have the Daiwa Saltigas, we have the Daiwa Saltus, we have the Daiwa Sea Line. I'm going all Daiwa. I love Daiwa products, and I've got a ton of them in the shop. We've got a few Shimano products, we have a few Penn products, but mostly Daiwa. We've got everything that I talked about in this video except for the Shimano Talica and the Accurate Valiant reels, but we've got tons of local tackle shops around our area we can link you up with. But basically at Hubbard's Marina, we can order you anything you want, and our new custom Hubbard's Marina Bull Bay Rod series is great for all those reels. We can custom order you whatever rod you want. We do price match as well, so if you're going to come fishing with us, you're traveling from a long way for a fishing trip, call us. We'll special order whatever you want. We'll have it price matched and waiting for you, so that way when you show up for your trip, all you have to do is pick it up. So we make it really easy. At least we try to. So Jeff, I apologize you didn't get my message. We do have the Saltiga 50 reel, and it retails for $4.99 off the top of my head. You do get 10% off when you book a trip, and again, we do price match as well. Let's see here. Dan Madsen said, is that a Long Island? No, I'm not crazy. This is Jameson whiskey. Let's see here what other questions we have. Justin Blanchard said, love fighting big freshwater fish. I can't even say freshwater fish. Love fighting big freshwater fish on light tackle. Can't imagine fighting saltwater fish on light tackle. Light tackle is a ton of fun. Again, lighter. These new light rods that they make are just incredible, especially, again, I keep mentioning it, but the Bull Bay Rod series that we just got at the Hubbard's Marina shop is just insane. I mean, the grouper rod, the biggest rod, you can hold it with just 2 fingers. It's just so light and so well balanced. And the spinning reels, I've never held such a nice spinning reel. Excuse me, spinning rod. These things are just so delicate. They feel like it's a feather, but yet you can catch a snook on them or a grouper on them. It's crazy. So definitely really fun to use light tackle, especially light tackle that's still strong, and then light leader and a backed off drag. Those pelagic fish, you can catch them very well, especially on private charters where you don't have other people on the boat. On a party boat, you have to use heavier tackle. You have to tighten down the drag. You can't let a fish run around the boat on light tackle. But if you've got a private charter, if you book a private charter, or you're in your buddy's boat and there's only a few people fishing, or you come out in the party boat this time of year when there's only 20 other people on the boat, is a great time to take advantage of that light tackle. We had a guy out on the half day the other day where we have 20-25 people on the half day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a lot of times this time of year, and he was up on the bow chumming for mackerel and using the method I talked about earlier, light spinning rod, chumming, and then throwing that gotcha plug into the school of mackerel, and he was just bailing mackerel, having a grand old time. So a lot of great fishing is going on for sure. Please, if you enjoyed the show, please like the video for me. Help share it on your page. Remember, every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m., we'll see you here for another show. We'll see you October 20th at Bass Pro Shops at 2 p.m. or October 13th this Saturday at the Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet. If you don't have a ride or whatever and you're local in Madeira Beach, check out the Fisherman Ideal Supply House party. They're having a pig roast this coming week at Saturday from 11:30 to 4. So unfortunately can't make it to that because I'll be at the Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet. But definitely a lot of fun stuff going on this Saturday in the fishing world. Next week, Sunday, October 14th, we'll be back here, same time, same bad channel, but October 21st, so not next week, the week after, we will not have a Sunday night live stream show. I'll be in an airplane heading for Mobile, Alabama. The next Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council meeting is coming up October 21st, starting in Mobile, Alabama. We're going to be talking a lot about cobia. We're going to talk a lot about state management of red snapper. We're going to talk a lot about the 2017 catch landings and finalizing the red snapper quota and stuff like that. Again, red snapper's never announced until May before the season starts, so don't get your hopes up. But we're going to have a lot of cool information coming out of that meeting. You can always message our page if you're interested in attending. I'll get you all the information. And if you don't even have to go to these National Marine Fisheries meetings, you can listen to them live right on their website. I should probably turn back to this. I don't know. I've been left it on that page a while. You can always tune in right to their website if you'd like and listen to the show or the meetings right there on the webinar, or you can and you can always make a comment through their website as well. So you don't have to go to the meeting to listen to what's going on. You don't have to go to the meeting to make public comments. So we'll always keep you informed of that as well. Hopefully you enjoy that. Again, on our Fishermen United page is where we send a lot of that information out. And I think that's about all I got, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Remember, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy. We'll see you next week, 8:30 p.m., or we'll see you Saturday at the Tampa Bay Fishing Club meet and greet, and then October 20th, we'll see you at Bass Pro Shops, guys. Hopefully you had a great night tonight. I know I did. Always enjoy spending spending Sunday night with y'all talking fishing. Nothing beats it. Have a great night, guys. Remember, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy. See you guys.